Welcome to Bikers and Backroads, a podcast about all things Harley Davidson. We're your hosts, Jason and the Big Z, so sit back and join us as we go into this week's episode of Bikers and Backroads. What's up, everybody? Thanks for downloading the most recent episode of Bikers and Backroads. I'm your host. This is Jason, and this is the Big Z. We're glad you've joined us. If you would love to help us out, we'd like for you to subscribe, leave a comment, smash that like button, leave us a thumbs up, leave us some questions. Help us grow this thing. You can find us on any platform where you're getting your audio podcasts. We are on Apple iTunes. We're on Spotify. We're on Amazon. We're everywhere you can get a podcast. We're also on social media at Bikers and Backroads on Instagram and TikTok. And on X, we are BNB_pod. Of course, we're on the YouTube side, so you found us on our YouTube channel. And not only do we do the podcast here on the YouTube side, we also do some ride vlogs and shorts. And shorts help us get views, so we're trying to grow this thing. Again, it's just something we like to do, so we usually pull out some things and talk about it. But we're back in the studio to film this week's episode. What do you think, man?
Not much. Ready for this. West Virginia weather has been kind of rough. It's making us just both want to get out on two wheels, and I think everybody's that owns a bike having in their garage, it's hurting them. Ready for this warmer weather and get out of this ice box we're in right now.
So going on with the weather, and we know it's been terrible here. We are day 14 in a row of snow and ice covering the ground. You can't see anything. The roads aren't terrible, but even this week they sent us home from work early. Closed our clinic, and there we go. We're just sitting here watching it snow and pile up. So in cold weather, some maintenance things for your bike. I just have a question. You see great debates on this is, do you guys start your bike to warm it up every couple weeks or so in your garage? I mean, what do you think? I've seen so much debate on this, and I know we typically do a lot of the same things, especially if you're gone during the week and I'm doing the maintenance and things on the bike. But I have seen so many things that contradict starting your bike and letting it warm up, because people say you don't let it run long enough, usually in your garage. People are like, oh, I'll let this thing run for 5 or 6 minutes. But I mean, it probably, as it's sitting there, takes longer than that to get it up to temperature, to circulate everything. Yeah. You see people say don't do it because you really need to be riding your bike and getting through gears and it being moved to really get it warmed up, that just going out and starting your bike and letting it run a little while and then turning it off really doesn't help. I mean, what do you think? What do you see? You look into this stuff as much as I do.
I think, personally, I don't see the harm in it. Maybe it is, if it's not getting to full temperature and things of that nature, I can see that argument. But my personal belief is I don't see any problem that starting your bike and letting the oil circulate and get on things again. Like, of course, as it sits, it's going to drip off. I don't see any problem in or how it would hurt to just let everything re-soak itself in oil and let oil circulate through a little bit and move. But at the same time, look into your battery. Everybody knows cold weather is hard on batteries. Yeah, we keep ours plugged up on a battery tender and things of that nature and turbocharger through the winter. And even in the summer when we're not riding them through the week, or, in between stances where we're going to be gone for a while. I don't see any problem in starting them alone, just to let your battery kind of start your bike and then run a little bit to let it recharge a little bit naturally instead of that tender. I mean, that's going to let you just see, like, wow, this thing's starting slow. I might need to have my battery checked, like actually go check it yourself if you have the tools, or go take it somewhere to get it checked real quick. Because you could have just caught it on a down cycle and that's why it started slow. But hey, if you start it and let it run, your bike's running, it's going to charge your battery up a little bit on its own through your stator and things of that nature. So I don't see any harm in it. We do it often, and I know I used to do it even back in the day on dirt bikes, which that didn't have electric start, but it was kind of the same thing. Hey, this hasn't started in a couple weeks. I'm going to let it get to temperature and warm up and things of that nature. And I mean, I know I do it with my vehicles if they've sat for a while. I mean, I have a work car that doesn't get drove a lot right now in the cold because it's the snow. It's not going to plow snow with the front bumper. So I have went in the garage and started it just to legitimately for the electrical part of it. So I don't see any harm in it.
Yeah. I mean, I get the fact that most people just go out there and start it and let it run for 3 or 4 minutes. And in their mind, they've let it run for a while and turning it off. You probably didn't get everything lubed in your motor. And in that situation, you've got part of your motor is warmed up and the other part didn't get brought up to temperature. Is that a hard thing between top and bottom end? I think I'm not a Harley mechanic. I never claimed to be. We tinker and stuff, and I enjoy wrenching on my own bike some. But this is literally something I'd like to have a comment. I mean, we know, Doc Harley. We've talked to them through Rolling Throttle guys. Quick shout out to the Rolling Throttle guys that had us on there live the other night. That was awesome. Looking forward to hanging out more with those guys, getting up. They're close enough we can grab dinner with them. I really appreciate what they're doing. They're doing a great job. We're planning everything for Mobbin Mountain. But, yeah, we've met Dr. Harley through that. He lives in a colder climate than we do. So I would love your feedback if you're listening to this, Doc. Just because I don't know and I don't want to give bad info. I don't want to damage my own bike. And I want to take care of it optimally. Newer Harley Davidsons have electric pull on the battery, even when they're not running, with all the, all the systems that's running, newer baggers and everything with the new infotainment stuff. So they will zap a battery. So, I mean, they even recommend keeping those on a tender all the time.
All the time,
We keep ours on a tender, but we don't have all that pull. And I know we're doing that for battery health and things. That has come across my feed more in the past 2 or 3 days as I peruse YouTube or shorts pop out. It's about, hey, don't get into this trap of just starting your bike and let it run. Now, I understand, don't start it up and let it run 30 seconds and then start hammering the throttle. You're not doing anything there.
We don't even like to do that whenever it's
I didn't do that
90 degrees outside.
I didn't do that on dirt bikes.
No.
We've been around two-strokes a long time. Two-strokes don't love to idle. They don't love being cold-natured. So we would always start those and let them run, but you can't just hammer those on the throttle. Or on those bikes, you're going to be replacing top end and rings and things like that. That's a whole lot different when that kit's $150 than doing top end work on a Harley. I know it's not two-stroke and the four-stroke and you're running better fluids and you're trying to do all that stuff. But, talking about doing your oil change and it's cold right now, you start your bike and let it warm up a little bit so those fluids drain out easier. Those are just things. And I know guys who are like, yeah, man, I start my bike. If I haven't ridden it in 2 weeks, I go out and start it and I'll let it run 10 or 15 minutes and then I turn it off. You never hear that guy come back out and make a video that he grenaded something because he screwed his bike up. So anyway, just want your thoughts. That's a thought-provoking question. Or if you have another question like, well, why wouldn't you do that? There's a lot of things I could think of why you wouldn't do that. Those are air-cooled motors. So I can get you would want it to be riding, maybe being able to ride to truly warm it up. I mean, I have a diesel pickup truck. You can start that thing and let it run for 30 minutes, and that temperature gauge isn't going to climb much above cold when it's really cold because you have to drive the diesel for it to get a temperature. I mean,
build RPM.
I can say that because I've seen that on my truck. I can remote start that thing, and it'll run for 10 minutes or 15 minutes, whatever's on its thing. But I can start it and I can go out to get in it from here to leave for work, and the temperature my heater will be on, all that stuff. But the temperature in the motor won't have creeped above 100 degrees. Now, when I had my little WRX, you start that thing to warm it up, and I never would drive that, even in the summer, until because you would drive it. I would never put that thing in gear and let it go driving until that temperature gauge got up around 120, because that's just what Subaru people advised. So if we're talking Harleys, what do Harley people say? What does Harley mechanics say? So just Give me some feedback. I just want to know. And a little bit of rationale why. Because I'm a creature of wanting to learn this stuff. So as far as a safety tip, if I can learn and share that, I don't have a great safety tip this week. We just have
we have a safety question.
We have a safety question.
A mechanical safety question.
That's right. That's
and
awesome.
one thing I wanted to mention, is I don't know, I don't see either side fully of it hurting your bike and not hurting your bike, because look at this example is the guys that have Wheels Through Time. They have those old bikes, and granted that is a museum and things of that nature, but they'll start those bikes up and sit there and they'll idle them and rev them and let you hear them. But he even said they don't keep full oil tanks, like the oil tank, all the way full on those bikes, because he even mentioned they don't run long enough to get to full hot, fully hot, to where the oil would make that big of a difference or not. And I mean, he knows, I would think, a lot about especially those old motors. So he knows in his mind that he's not hurting those, because if he lets them start and run for a minute to talk to somebody, listen, do you hear how this was? That was this design of this part, and it changed its mind. And he's revving it a few times to let you hear it, and then he shuts it off. That's not, that in his mind, he knows something's not getting tore up, but it might not also be hurting or helping the motor. You know, that's kind of my, whenever we went to that museum a while ago, and I heard him say that, and one of, somebody asked a question man, how do you afford to keep all this oil? And he literally just straight up said, we don't keep them all the way full. You know, I heard him tell somebody that. So that was pretty cool. I'm sure some bikes they do, because they do ride some of those bikes, but every bike under there had a drip pan underneath of it. So you're like, wow, that's a lot of oil in here.
And they say that every bike there can run. Yeah. So,
or they can get it running. Yeah.
And you'll walk over and say, hey, can we hear this one run? And they'll be like, yeah, sure. Now they may have to go get enough gas to get it started. Because I'm sure they don't sit there and just let the gas cans rot or the gas tanks rot and stuff. But again, those are just all questions. Do they sump? I mean, some of those were 100% oil loss system bikes, the older ones, and they'll just pump it a few times. Now, I know that those lose oil as they go down the road and get hotter, and they'll hold a little bit. And if you watch Wheels Through Time, if you don't watch those guys, watch them. They do fantastic work, and they are the most humble, down-to-earth guys you've ever met. We went to Wheels Through Time, stood and talked to Matt and Chris for an hour. And they answer every question, and those guys are phenomenal. So, if you haven't been to Maggie Valley to see Wheels Through Time Museum, do yourself a favor and go down there. But
very cool, because they actually love that and love hanging out and coming. They don't come there to work necessarily. It seems like they're there to hang out with everybody, just as you and I are going to look.
That knowledge of old bikes is going to go away if we don't have people picking up that cross and moving on, per se. So, they share everything with you. So anyway, give me some feedback on what's your thoughts of why you would or would not start your bike and let it run, or what's a safe time frame. I mean, I don't have a thermometer to shoot digitally on the head of my bikes to say, okay, that's an operating temperature. And if that's the way to tell that it's safe or not, great. That's great feedback. Next thing, teaser alert. It came in. Big mod going on. It's going on the lowrider, and here you see it, the Sawicki Speed. I'm not going to show you the pipe, because we're going to put a whole new video about that out. And if you're listening on the audio side, you can't see it anyway. So we have secured the Sawicki Speed, mid-length dyna, polished exhaust. It looks beautiful. I can't wait to get it on. I would have had it on this weekend, but we have two cars that can't get out of the garage because of snow in the driveway, because we can't move cars off the driveway to the street because they're so snow covered. You'd be sitting in the middle of the road in our neighborhood, and people would frown upon that. So
I know we're in West Virginia, and there's places that get a lot more snow and a lot colder weather than us, but whenever you pull into the driveway after coming home from work all week and put my truck in park, and I slide out of the driveway back into the middle of the road, that says something that it ain't been very good here.
And all the other roads are clear and things. We drove on some bad ones Friday, and we drove on some bad ones Tuesday, and a little bit Wednesday morning. But, I mean, neighborhoods are the worst because where our street, we don't get a lot of sun this time of year.
Yeah.
We get late evening sun on that street in the summertime, and let's be honest, it's dark by 5 o'clock, 5:30 right now. So anyway, Sawicki Speed exhaust video coming. The install's coming. We're also going to be talking about some pipe care. I mean, I got the polished exhaust. I need to know how to keep that thing shiny and doing looking great so I don't just abuse it. And your pipe.
Yeah.
You have a brushed.
Raw stainless.
Yeah, raw stainless pipe. And I've been watching some videos because Xander is, I mean, it's the typical. You either rubbed your shoe against it and it has a spot on it, or we've hit something in the road or drove over something and it put something up on there. But you have a few.
Like it almost appears like water droplets or things of that nature from a puddle on the ground or something like that. So
on your bike, I've been watching, and it looks like everything can be addressed with a little WD-40 and a red and a gray 3M Scotch Brite cloth, and you're rubbing with the grain of the pipe kind of circumferentially around the pipe, and it's going to end up looking silverish again. I mean, yours is all bronzed in, but a few heat cycles, and they say even the ones where you've shined them up, cleaning it up, it'll all go back to a uniform place like that. So we're going to do a video of us cleaning that pipe up just for some content. So we're going to be doing some cleaning on a raw pipe. We're going to be putting on the Sawicki Speed polished pipe. We'll discuss some care for that one. And then also we'll be talking about things of that nature to keep these pipes looking good. Again, it's a good time to check some torque on head bolts and fasteners. The other night we were on the rolling throttle thing, and back to Doc, he was mentioning, your 5,000 mile critical connector checkpoint. I've never heard of that in my life. I totally appreciate that. I mean, from checking foot pegs and shifter levers and perch mounts. I had a perch mount loosen up last year while we were riding. Your brake arm, your things of that nature, things you touch and feel and you need to operate. I would think you'd recheck your head bolts on your exhausts. I think your mounting bolts. You just touch that stuff and tighten it all back down. And since we're going to install one, I'm sure we'll rethink about touching everything.
It's a Harley. It's a twin cam. It's going to rattle. It's going to shake, and vibration's not good on a bolt. I mean, they'll loosen up over time. So
you run the thing where you need anti-seize on some things and you need Loctite on others. So and then you pay attention to your torque specs. So anyway, without further ado, like we mentioned last week, we're going to hit you with our top 5, and this is some of the best feedback we get on episodes, our top 5 favorite colors on the new for 2026 Harley Davidson models. And I think Xander and I both listed the colors on our favorite bikes because that's what we think looks the best on. I mean, you can pick a color that looks great on one model, but it isn't better than one color though on another model. So without further ado, we're going to hit this with our top 5.
All right, Dad, I think I'll lead us off with, we'll go number 5 up to our number 1. So my number 5 for the 2026 colors on my top 5 list is going to go to the olive steel metallic Lowrider ST. I know we have the olive steel two-tone on the big bikes, and that might even be mentioned. I don't know I haven't seen your list. You haven't seen mine, but that color, like just the whole color, I think is a very unique and very cool color, and I think it looks awesome on that Lowrider ST. And even with that, specifically on the Lowrider ST, it gives you that cool tank badge with the wing and then the Heart HD and things of that nature. But I just think that looks like a super cool color, and it brings almost, I think, a nostalgic feeling to the Lowrider ST. like throwback to some older colors, like back in the day, old school Harley. So that's why that goes to my number 5.
My number 5 is the olive steel metallic on the Pan America.
Oh, good color.
And the Pan America doesn't get a lot of love for its colorways. And because there's just not as much real estate on that bike, you think, for amazing paint.
Yeah.
But the paint on the tank is, the olive steel metallic. And then it is highlighted in like a lime green. And it fades into the black bar and shield. I just think that in a small area to demonstrate some, cool paint graphic, I think that olive steel metallic on the Pan America was my favorite. And I love the white that blends into the orange and the black on the Pan America. But the olive steel metallic, I think, on the Pan America is my favorite. I will say that the olive steel metallic, the solid color on the Lowrider ST was my tie right there until I saw it on the Pan America. So we'll go Pan America.
Gotcha. That was a very good color. I really like. I just want to come out and say I think the colors on the Pan America this year really stepped up. Like I haven't seen a single one of them that I was like, man, that looks bad. All of them look great. The Pan Americas are, that's a cool bike in and of it, just on its own. And the colors they've brought to it this year are very, very cool.
You would think, though, that with a bike like that, again, with limited real estate to put paint, there would be a lot of just solid colors or basics. But they hit people. I mean, the new Pan America Limited has a limited feel paint job.
Yeah.
So I can appreciate that.
Yeah, they're going, full Harley on it. It's awesome. So my number 4 spot is going to go to the Electric Coast, specifically on the CVO Road Glide ST. I like it on the Road Glide ST more than the Street Glide ST for one reason. On the Road Glide, you have the HD decal, that the bar and shield that fades from the tank onto the fairing. And on the Street Glide, it was an eagle, like old school CVO. And I think that bar and shield just looked a little bit better. I loved the way it faded across both of those panels, body panels right there. So that's why I picked it on the Road Glide over the Street Glide. But that Electric Coast is beautiful in my opinion.
Yeah, I'll get down to those. But for my number 4, I went blood orange Road Glide, black trim. We know I love orange motorcycles. That if you're going to have a solid color on a bike, give me that one with the black. Call me when it's there. I want to come see it, sit on it, touch it, feel it. Blood orange Road Glide, I think looks better than Street Glide.
Very good. I'll get to that. So my number 3 spot is going to go to the torched orange CVO Street Glide. That is a wicked color. Very cool colorway, paint job. I love that burnt orange look. It kind of reminded me of like almost to the root beer color they did a few years ago on one of the Street Glide, on the CVOs, which I liked that color a lot. But that torched orange on that Street Glide is just so unique, I think, and it looks good. It's got all of your marks around the bags and around the curves of the bike and accents and all that. And it looks like it's going fast sitting still. So I loved that color. I thought it was very, very unique, very cool, and I cannot wait to see one of those in person, really.
I love that because I think that the silvery gray breakup in that two-tone makes that orange better.
Yes.
If not, that would be a lot of like burnt orange, like 70s model Cadillac burnt orange. Like that's a lot.
Yeah.
I think the two-tone there is great. I think the light orange windscreen makes that.
Yeah.
That is not my favorite orange Harley has ever done.
No, me neither. But I think that paint is just
awesome.
Super cool.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think they used the two-tone and then the hard black line for the trim. I think that the CVO colors are amazing. So, but yeah, I get that for you. That's not a color that made my list, but that's a color I think is going to be better in person.
Yeah.
Than and outside, better than the ones I'm seeing on the videos and things like that. But
Me
even
as well.
if you look at, like, there's some guys who have ridden all the CVOs and the everything Street Glide, from the limiteds to the limited CVO to just the CVO, with some Harley corporate people, some content creators out in the open. Even on that video, that orange combo looks really, really good. Yep. But for my number 3, I went Electric Coast, the Tritone Street Glide CVO Limited. It's got that silver. It's got the Electric Coast blue. It's got some hard lines of black that blended in. I think that's one of the coolest colorways Harley has done. It's sitting on chrome rims. It really makes it flash. It's amazing. I think that's one of the best paint jobs Harley's done in a long time. And that's just me. I mean, I'd put that up against a lot of things. It's not my number 1, but on that bike, that is a great paint scheme. Even through, I mean, it blends through the lowers, everything. Everything hits on that.
They had a lot of real estate to put paint on, and they really knocked that out of the park with all of the Tritone and everything of that nature. I'm with you. That was almost on my list, but I don't know why I didn't pick it or put it on there. But they really did knock that bike and that color out of the park for sure. So moving on to my number 2, it's just blood orange on all the bikes. I would say the Road Glide is my favorite. Black trim, of that nature. But I don't think the blood orange looks bad on any of the models that it's offered on. I really, really like that color. But if I had to pick one bike, because it's going to be on the Road Glide black trim. Give it to me. I want it.
My number 2 was also on your list. It's Electric Coast Blue, the Road Glide CVO ST. And we stood and looked at this, or I stood and looked at this bike, and conversation around this bike at the dealership was, I mean, some people hated the red windscreen. Some people don't appreciate all the forged carbon. But I think that's probably one of the best blues. And again, there's 2 in a row that's Electric Coast Blue on my list. Yeah. I think that's one of the best blues. I love the Blue Burst. Yeah. But Electric Coast Blue is awesome. I love it on the Road Glide CVO ST, from the red accents around the motor, the red accent around the dash that goes into that forged carbon fiber, and then you tie in the red windscreen. To me, I think that bike screams Superman. Yeah. Another thing is they have changed those reservoir shocks. That's now like a black or dark gray steel cable to those. It looks more finished and polished. I guess those are Showa front forks in them, which surprises me. I thought Harley was all in on Öhlins, on their relationship with Öhlins. So, but everything is Showa. So from the dirt bike world, you know what you're getting there. Yeah. Showa is just, in performance, riding a dirt bike, Showa's it. Yeah. So then you go radial mounted calipers and all your performance and your inverted fork that just looks so cool. But yeah, my second favorite, my number 2 is the Electric Coast Blue Road Glide CVO ST.
Yep. So my number 1 spot, I think you could have guessed it for sure, and that's going to go to the Teal Thunder Vivid Black 2-tone Road Glide. Man, I saw one in person, won it, saw it on the drop online. It was the first one that caught my eye, and I loved it. Didn't change in person. I don't think the pictures online do it any justice. If you see it in person, it pops so much more. I'd love to see it out in the sunlight. But sitting on a showroom floor, it looks good, looks great, and I would love to own one.
Yeah. My number one is the Citrus Heat Road Glide CVO ST. And it is almost like the RR paint job from last year. Very homage to the race team livery. But I love that Citrus Heat. It's like that reddish orange fades to black to the back on the CVO Road Glide ST. It's just awesome. You get all the performance, but it looks like, I mean, you're probably going to get as many people saying that you're just trying to, it's a poor man's RR. Yeah. Okay, I would put that on the license plate if that was what I worried about. I just like that paint. You know what you're getting with the CVO ST and the Road Glide. It's tried and true. People love them. You get all the modes. You get all the performance. If that's what you're after, fine. You know what you're buying when you get a CVO. I mean, that's even like a $5,000 paint upgrade on the CVO ST over the electric Coast Blue. Yeah. So, I mean, Harley knows what they're doing. They know that's like a race livery, and they're going to have their few people that want that. I mean, people that didn't want to pay $110,000 to $150,000 markup for the RR, they might jump all over that CVO ST and that Citrus Heat Road Glide. But what I'm hearing is if you want that Citrus Heat Road Glide CVO ST, and if you want the Electric Coast Tritone Street Glide CVO Limited, and you want the orange CVO Street Glide that you want, you better get to your dealers and be willing to put down a deposit and hope they can get you one. I mean, I saw a couple sales guys that do YouTube stuff or Instagram. They're like, listen, guys, we don't even have one here, and we've got 3 people with deposits down if we can get them. So if that becomes something that each dealership only gets so many, you're going to be getting some dealership swaps and things like that for them. But those seem to be the hotter colors, and they're saying if that's what you want, you better go put your deposit down, pray your dealer can get you one, and hope for the best. So there's our top 5. They differ some. Sometimes just in order, but we typically always have a little different. Your number 1 didn't make my list, and my number 1 didn't make your list. So, but other than that, our top 5s do well for us. So send us a message. What's your top 5? Yeah,
let us know. We love seeing this feedback because everybody's likes different colors, and everybody can agree that one color looks great though. So. Just let us know what yours is. I think everybody can agree that a black on black Harley, no matter what year, is going to look awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I saw the white, as I was flipping through my colors, I think the white that's not offered on everything this year, but the white on the Lowrider ST,
the
looks
Onyx
really
Pearl,
good.
It does look great. That with that chrome trim, and it gives that like baby blue tank badge, man, it's sweet. That almost made my list. Really, it almost did, because I haven't seen one of those in person yet. I'd love to.
And they have the teal on just the breakout, but that teal is also on a Road Glide 3.
Dude, just the solid teal.
They had one at Black Sheep.
It looks great.
It does look good.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it does look good.
I'm surprised that they put that on the Road Glide 3 and didn't offer a full teal on like the regular Road Glide or something like that. I mean, I get you're coming out with the Teal Thunder Vivid Black two-tone, and that might be the two-tone is the sportier style, and that's kind of earning a name as a sportier bike for the touring world. But man, it would be awesome to have that just solid teal color. I think that teal and vivid black looks great on the Softail, the Heritage as well. I know I meant to say that earlier when we were talking, because I really think that on that Heritage, the way they have it two-toned, it looks like a Heritage should. It looks old school and to Harley's roots. It really, I think it looked like an old old colorway that you would see from the 50s and 60s and things of that nature. So, but I think one thing everybody can agree on is this year Harley knocked the paint colors out of the park. Yeah. There is some beautiful paints across the board on all of the bikes they're offering.
Yeah.
I think the 26 models paint jobs are some of the best we've seen in the past few years for sure. So, yeah, I mean,
I think the past couple of years they've had that one or two that's really great.
Yeah.
But this year seems to be really, really superb. Mm-hmm. There's very few that I've just been like, oh, I'm not a big fan of.
Like, I'm not a huge fan of red bikes. But the new red, we did see one at Black Sheep, and it doesn't look as bad as I thought it would be. It's a very pretty red. I'm just not a red bike guy. But things of that nature, and just, they're all good.
So we talked about the citrus heat being a reflection of the race livery and the RR. So this is just a reminder that your race team for Harley Davidson and the Dyno Jet collab team is released on February 20th. It's going to be released up in Milwaukee, I think Fiserv Arena. There should be something coming out on Harley Davidson about it, but then that leads into the first King of Baggers is going to be during Harley Davidson's, or not Harley Davidson's, but Daytona Bike Week. And we talked about Harley Davidson headquarters being there at the Speedway, getting demo rides and things like that, and meeting content creators and all that stuff. But Mission King of the Baggers starts while they're down there. So you're going to see what your factory Harley team is, in case there's any changes. And we knew there was some changes to the Indian brand team, but we'll see what Harley Davidson has. Corporate news, little sidebar here. The acquisition of Indian from Polaris by Carrollwood was finalized this week. So there was still some people right up to the end thinking that wasn't going to go through. But I did see that Indian is basically its standalone entity right now, and you're going to see what's going to happen. I believe this is good for Harley. I don't want anything bad to happen to Indian. We've talked about that. I think competition is a great thing.
Yep.
But with new territory and new standing alone, and what are you going to do with your dealer networks and things like that, this may give Harley a chance to get back up on some bikes, because I wouldn't sit here and think Indian's going to release a bunch of new R&D bikes, because I don't think Polaris would have put the money in it to let them leave. So now, what do? Indian did just release that vintage bike that everybody's riding and talking about and things like that. And if you want to look into that, go ahead. We're here for mostly Harley content, but not bad mouthing them. But in the world of corporate motorcycle things, that acquisition did go through. So kudos to the Indian people who wanted their brand to be independent again. And now let's see where we wash out with all this. So another thing is, last but not least, it's supposed to get into the 40s and the 50s around here this week. If we can get some snow to leave and some ice to leave and the road to not look terrible, and it's probably going to be pothole heaven going on because of all the scraping and things, there's a small chance we could get out and get a little ride in. If we do, we'll try to get our vlog setups going.
Yep.
And then that will lead us, if we can get a ride in, then we can come back and jump on those oil changes. Definitely do that install of the exhaust. Then we can clear out the garage a little bit and get some work done and get some content created. So be looking for some YouTube videos coming over the next couple weeks, because we'll put some in the can and release them just to help us.
Yep.
But if you live where we live, it's going to be in the 40s and 50s. Like 50 some on Tuesday. If you can get out and ride, go ride. Put some wind in your hair. Let some senses get stimulated by just riding, listening, hearing. Do you some good, because who knows if the weather's done. But we just got to get out and get on twos. Anything else to add, buddy?
No. Yeah, I'll jump back to where we said we didn't have a safety tip today. We had a safety question, and you're talking about getting that ride in and feel everything. If you get the chance to ride this week, I'll say the safety tip is to be sure and keep an extra eye out and keep feeling for any looseness or vibrations that seems, too much or exceeding the normal. And then make sure you tighten all those bolts up. If you feel it move and you don't think it should be, make sure your bolts and things are tight and check it. But if you get a chance to go out, another one is just be watching. I know in our area for sure, I'm sure there's going to be some salt buildup on the road still because it's been snowing and icing, but we haven't had the rain to wash the roads clean. Mm-hmm. So just be out looking for that. And like Dad mentioned, it's going to be pothole heaven for sure. But yeah, we're both looking forward to that warmer weather. Get rid of some of this snow and ice and get two wheels out on the pavement and ride some iron ponies.
Check that tire pressure.
Yeah.
If your bike's been sitting in your cold garage, again, it could be a little weird at first because you could have some flattening in your tire. It'll warm up and it'll do better. And like I said, we're planning on putting on some new tires as soon as the weather gets stable around here. But check that tire pressure. You can drive even in your cars. Some of us are having our tire monitors light up from the super cold weather. Those bikes are just sitting. Check your tire pressure. Don't just, it's sunny, and take the time to prep your bike. Prepare for what could happen. Try to eliminate as many variables of the bad that could happen.
Yep.
Check that tire pressure. Make sure things are a little snugged up. Those levers feel good. Don't push it. You don't want to be missing the rest of your riding season from trying to steal a 30-minute ride when it just got a little bit warm. But if you're kicking around in your garage in the evenings from work and Tuesday to Thursday or Friday is going to be a little different and better in the afternoons and evenings. Do a little maintenance today, a little maintenance tomorrow, and then you can get that ride in on a Tuesday. We're filming this on a Sunday. You're going to see it later this evening. So that's all I got, man. What do you think?
I'm just looking forward to riding, hopefully. And we're talking about, checking everything. Well, I've said it before, and it came up on the Rolling Throttle guys whenever we got invited to come on with them. If you get a chance, go back and look at that and listen to it. It was a good conversation. And it came up on there too. Check your shift lever. Make sure that's tight because they will fall off. And it ain't fun.
Critical contacts is what Doc Harley said. I'm pretty sure that's what he called it. It's like if every 5,000 miles you check your critical contact. Or critical something, he said. Controls maybe. But that was brilliant. I had
never thought
checked
of that.
But he actually has it on the maintenance. It may be technically Harley regular maintenance in your manual, but I like to think we do a pretty good job of checking bolts and tighten things. I mean, we just get bored and go out there and start checking things. So, but that's all I got. It's great to see y'all. Go ahead and take us out, brother.
Yep. That's all for today's conversation, guys. Thanks for joining us. Please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends and family about us. We're trying to grow this thing, and we're trying to get the opportunity to do more types of filming and episodes and have deeper conversations. We're trying to learn as we go and also share the knowledge that we're learning, but also we're just hanging out, having a good time talking about bikes. We hope you like to join in and have a good time with us. But yeah, if you're looking at us, you've already found us on our YouTube at Bikers and Backroads. And if you haven't seen us yet, come check out the YouTube channel. We're going to be putting out more content here. That's definitely one of our plans for the 2026 year. And then we're on anywhere that you can get your podcasts from. iTunes, Amazon, Spotify, things of that nature. So check us out there. We're on TikTok and Instagram at Bikers and Backroads. We're on X at B_pod. And y'all just try to stay warm for this last couple of days. It's going to warm up. Hope you guys get a chance to ride because we're going to be trying to take every chance we can. And that's all for today. So we'll holler at you later.
You guys be safe. Be blessed. Talk to you soon.